my belief was that the state should not be involved in sanctioning the taking of life. I worried about the slippery slope once you start that. But and we did a number of consultations in my writing. We did town hall meetings where the special interests come out. We did an electronic town hall meeting. We did a written survey in the writing, and we did a scientific survey. And I could tell that a large number of my constituents wanted to amend the criminal code. Now, it had a bunch of conditions attached to it. And the position I took, I said, look, I'll represent your position in Parliament. I don't agree with it, so I'm not going to be a very enthusiastic proponent of it. And I'll try to get these conditions that you're talking about approved, which proved impossible to do. But I said, if you force me to do that very often, I don't think you're going to want me as your representative, and I don't think I want to represent you. And it's interesting that when you take that approach, people will respect that. And I do suggest that to people that are running for office today. The starting point is to make it clear what you would do in that situation.
Right. No,
that's maybe the place to start.
I think that's a great place to start. And I'm going to move slightly to your next book, which was called Do Something.
Yeah.
And you talk about seemingly hundreds of ways that we can help Canada make it better. I guess my simple question, is it that easy that you can think of hundreds of ways to make Canada a better place? Well, what's stopping us from doing that?
Well, that's a very good question. And in fact, the title of that book came out of a worry of mine that today, particularly with the social media, we are substituting talking about it, blogging about it, tweeting about it, conferencing about it, writing about it. And I do a lot of those things, but we do everything except do something, act on it. And so I've got all my chapters on everything from environment to healthcare to constitutional change to how to strengthen democracy. But at the end of each chapter, I say, this is all very nice discussion. It's all footnoted. But here's some things you could, if you agree with half of this, here's a couple of things you can do to move it along. And one of the things I encourage my think tank friends and my particularly conservative communications friends that have conferences and blogging and all the rest of that, that's fine. But at the end, why not just say, wait a minute, folks, if we are agreed on what's been said here, what should we do? Is there some action we can take? And it may be as simple as writing or contacting your elected representative. It may be joining or giving money to an interest group that represents you. It may be talking to your children about something that they haven't considered, but do something as distinct from just talking about it. That's really what the whole book is about.
Do you think that, and maybe this is an unfair question, but is there a demographic divide on this? And by that I mean, was your book aimed at the millennial generation in particular? Did you feel that, or was it more general?
So again, I'm of a generation to whom the social, I'm not comfortable with the social media, the way the young people are. But I do think the social media facilitates is doing everything but doing something. You can talk about it, blog about it, tweet about it ad infinitum. And so it was more aimed at that generation than it was to mine. And I've talked about this in other books. I've been a critic of democracy. As you know, I think democracy can be vastly improved in Canada. But to be fair, back in the 1980s, 5 people, and I was one of them, met in a boardroom in Calgary and said, we don't like either of the traditional parties, and we're going to go out and do something to try to change it. And we use the tools that democracy gives to everybody: freedom of speech, freedom to tell people you can vote this way or that way, freedom of assembly, and so forth, and made all kinds of mistakes. But by golly, in the end of the day, we ended up getting a majority government that was along that direction.